hear that and think, ooh, they make really good TV shows in New York. It's Late Night with David Lund. Hey, kid, are you nuts? We're doing a show in here. Just put that stuff in my dressing room and beat it. Just put it next to that case of canned soda. David Letterman.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program. Can you feel, ladies and gentlemen, can you feel the electricity building here this afternoon? Something terribly embarrassing happened to me over the weekend, and I hate, like sin, to burden you with this kind of thing. But you're probably going to read about it, so I'll just go ahead and get it off my chest, and hopefully we'll all remain close dear friends. All right, so Saturday, over the weekend, I get tossed out of Kmart. Because the manager now claims he caught me switching price tags on a pair of socks. Huh? What?
Come on.
Yeah, no.
Come
it's just
on.
no. No, of course I didn't, ma'am. Did you say that? You right there? Let's see. Last week, Erwin Mission was indicted. I don't think so, Kevin. We're going right to number 3, Paul.
You're skipping number 2.
That's right. Hal, it's an audible. We're going right to number 3. Do you have all of that information in there?
Where was it?
All right, number 3. Here we go. I don't want to sound selfish, but I think I'm going to have to learn to say no to people. I'll give you a good example. This morning on the subway, coming to work, I let a guy use my Vicks inhaler, and I really... It's hot in here, isn't it? Are you hot? It is hot. It's too damn hot in here. Don't you think it's hot, Paul?
It's finally comfortable. The one day it's comfortable.
No, no. Hey,
No.
hey, what a show we have, kids.
I know it's a little warm in here, but it's not as warm as it was in a certain holding tank that I was kept in.
Oh, Paul has a great airplane story.
This
airplane story is vastly superior to any airplane story I've ever had.
3 hours, supposed to be a 3-hour trip to Miami.
Right.
We spent 3 hours waiting on the runway. We finally got there. We couldn't land. We were diverted to Nassau at 6 in the morning.
Right.
Taken off the plane and held in a small, sweaty...
And beaten, Paul. You said you were beaten.
Beaten senseless.
Beaten senseless.
You want to see... What?
Which is a pretty short trip.
And then forced back onto the plane.
Back
and
onto
Miami,
the plane.
Yeah, arrived 12 hours later at Miami
Yeah.
Beach.
It's insane. Well, see,
nightmare flight.
Yeah, the problem is this winter has been bad for us here in the Northeast. And it was a big snowstorm Friday. That's the reason you couldn't get out, right?
And then couldn't get out. Then couldn't
Yeah.
get into the Miami airport. And had to go to Nassau.
Well, bless your heart. Thank goodness you're back, Paul, and
well,
I'm sorry you had that trouble.
What's happening behind you?
Well, it's our bubble machine. You're supposed to have music. When this comes on, Paul, you're supposed to drop what you're doing. There it goes now. It's too late, but here it comes anywhere. It's the love theme. Okay, that's it. Thanks, Paul. Hey, thanks. That's it. Okay. Paul, hey! Thank you very much. All right.
That's the craziest thing I've ever
It's fun, isn't it? Anyway, we thought tonight what we would do is kick off the show with some small-town news. These are actual newspaper items culled from actual... You people must be starved for entertainment. But in addition to it being small-town news tonight, for every laugh that is produced by one of these small-town news items, I will take out of my pocket a $10 bill and put it in this jar, and we're going to send it to the United States Winter Olympic luge team. A fat wad of bills right here. Every time we get a laugh into the kitty, we send it to Calgary in support of the American luge team.
The luge.
There they are right there, Paul.
That's what luge means?
Yeah, for example, we could have bought that guy a new cup. All right. Paul, Paul, do you... Huh? Hello. Do you have a theme for this, Paul? Is there any music?
I do, actually. I'm going to do it barbershop quartet style.
Oh, good. This is... Wow.
It's time for a little feature that we call Small Town News. And you folks from Maine to Oregon, we hope it will amuse. But it isn't just for laughs tonight. It's to help achieve our dream. Tonight we're doing Small Town News for the benefit of the United States Olympic Luge Team.
Thanks, Paul. But first, we need to do the top 10 list. No. I forgot because I was...
Sing the song again, one more time.
No, because it's only a 90-minute show this evening. So let's just get right to the small town news.
Okay.
And then later, we'll do the hilarious top 10. What?
Okay.
It's a 60-minute show. Oh, I guess perhaps then it just feels a little long. It's awfully hot in here. Aren't you hot? Oh, geez, it's those sports louts. Anyway, here's our first news item. Number 1. This comes to us from The Sun, Lowell, Massachusetts. Noxious odors, a mystery at sewage plant. You don't... Okay. Well, we haven't... No, wait a minute. We haven't really done the joke yet. So you have just screwed the luge team out of $10. One more outburst like that, and I'll clear my nose. Here we go. This is the Independent, Copake, New York. You kind of get emotionally involved with the cows, at least I do, says Bill Young, Jr. I have a hunch Phil and Oprah are fighting tooth and nail for this guy right here. Okay, well, all right, there. $10 for the... Don't we have some way of monitoring the temperature in this warehouse over the weekend?
It's a little warm, but it's all
warm.
for a good cause, though.
That's right, the luge.
Yeah.
As a boy, Paul, in Canada, did you ever participate in the event known as the luge?
I never luged. I tubed, though.
You tubed?
I did tube. That's
I
where you
don't
get
think
on
we
a big
wanna
inner
get into
tube and go
that.
down, I think.
Okay. This is from the Northern Star, DeKalb, Illinois, or Illinois, as they pronounce it there in Illinois. William R. Bracken, 18, was arrested for retail theft at the store after attempting to leave with a burrito in his pants, DeKalb police report. I got news for you folks, that's no burrito. 10 more bucks for the... Now we're up to, there we go, we're up to 20. Yeah. This is from the Daily Record, Boonton, New Jersey. Laura Zelinka shows Laura Stiller ate a boa constrictor during the first major presentation in Boonton's revived summer recreation program. Oh, no, wait a minute. This means that the animal that they've got back there at the petting zoo is... This is from the Corpus Christi Caller-Times, Corpus Christi, Texas. Woman fulfills dream of making goat cheese. Paul?
To dream the impossible dream. To fight the unbeatable foe. To bear with unbearable sorrow. To run. Okay, never mind.
This is from the New Ulm Journal, New Ulm, Minnesota, which is much nicer than just plain Ulm, Minnesota. Treat yourself to a very special luncheon, women's urinary dysfunction. Yeah, you know, I think I'll pack my own lunch. If we could just beat those damn Russians at the luge once, I'd die a happy man. Here we have an item. This is from the New Philadelphia Times Reporter, New Philadelphia, Ohio. Deputies were called to the home of a 70-year-old Brightwood man Friday afternoon when a neighbor reported he feared the man was dead because he wouldn't move from his couch despite repeated knocking. Deputies said they found nothing wrong with the man, who told them he deliberately ignored his neighbor because I have a cold six-pack of beer in my refrigerator and he knows it. You don't get to be 70 without learning a few things, do you? What do we do after this? We just finish it up and we go to a commercial? Okay, it's my first night here, so I'm a little nervous. This is from the Phoenix Gazette, Phoenix, Arizona. At 7:30 p.m., the Animals Benefit Show will feature authors Ed and Jean Beakley. Oh, the Beakleys, Paul, will be at the show. Ed and Jean, the Beakleys. Ed won the Dog Writers Association Award with his story, I Want to Breed. His wife's book also makes interesting reading. It's called I Want to Do My Business in the Yard. $50, $50, Paul. We'll send it off to the luge team. What cold today as it was over the weekend. But we've had a nasty weather, and they're talking about rain tonight or tomorrow. Rain tonight or tomorrow, perhaps snow. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Oh, let's do the top 10 list now. We'll do it now because I was so eager about the fundraising effort for the boys on the luge team, the boys and girls on the luge team, that I lost track. This, anyway, tonight's category, top 10 General Electric products in development. This is a very wealthy company we're working for. Very, very rich.
I am aware of that, sir.
Heavy profit-laden organization.
We are all aware of that.
Top 10 General Electric products in development. Number 10, artificial appendix. Number 9, electric dreadlock detangler. Number 8, TV auto system that automatically adds an Italian accent. Well, that would be pretty nice. Number 7, 3-speed back shaver. Number 6, secret beam that causes brains of Sylvania executives to balloon up until they burst. Number 5, telephone voice modulator that makes you sound like Alex Trebek. Number 4, TV screen that makes every Cosby kid look black. Well, that's interesting. Oh, stop it. Stop it. Number 2, zombie monkeys who operate waffle iron. Well, wait a minute. Oh, I misread it. See, I've screwed this up now. Number 3, rather, new patio for Robert C. Wright's house. Number 2, zombie monkeys who operate waffle iron. And number 1, the vibrating pocket buddy. Let's go. I know. I'm right here. We're going. Hang on. Our first guest tonight is a very funny gentleman, warmly remembered in the hearts of his countrymen for his years on Saturday Night Live and for films like National Lampoon Vacation, Foul Play, and Fletch. We're always glad to have him, whatever it says. Anyway, please welcome Chevy Chase. Nice to see you.
Now, is that a vibrating burrito in your pocket, or are you just glad to see me?
Isn't that odd? A guy would go in and shoplift a burrito by shoving it down his pants.
I've done that.
Have you really?
Yeah.
You look good. Are you having a nice New Year?
Now, I just asked you that.
I know.
I said, how was your New Year?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
How was my New Year? The entire year.
It's like something important
Newer than
happened.
last year.
Yeah.
Better.
You know what I was watching the other night? They're running on one of these cable outfits.
You like this look?
Yeah, it looks
This
good.
is the latest thing. They do this now.
Were you button it up?
Yeah, I don't understand it, but this is, maybe this is better.
But you know, years ago. See, I think you could go either way with that. But years ago. Years ago, you were thought to be a bonehead if you had that buttoned up. You know, if you were in high school.
Something like that,
they'd make fun of you for that. Where was it? Oh, they're running Three Amigos on
Now,
one
I
of these cable.
distinctly remember being taller than you when I stood here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the problem? Well, no, it's just the.
I see. Okay.
You know, let me explain something to you about height of chairs.
All righty.
There is no universal law. They can be varied heights.
So if you're the host...
You can pick any size chair you want. There is no organization in Geneva that sets a standard height for chairs.
Do you remember Andy Kaufman by any chance?
Yes, of course.
Good night. Andy Kaufman. How about that, Andy Kaufman?
I remember that.
He once, you remember when he did a parody of the talk show in which he was sitting at a desk that was raised 6 feet above the guests?
Yeah, and everybody would have to look up to him and...
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I was watching this the film Three Amigos. You, Steve Martin, Marty Short.
Yeah.
Now, why did you make that face? You acted like there was a...
I didn't. I have a nervous
Oh, I'm
disposition. A little tick in my pants. No, nothing. I was playing John Candy in that, I believe.
No. You did a mighty good job, too.
Thank you very much.
But there was this one scene that I think is very funny where it's you, the three of you guys on the horses drinking from the canteen, and they cut to you, and you have an endless supply of water while they're parched silly. I thought that was very funny. But you did a nice job with that.
Thank you very much. How did you like it, Paul?
Not bad, Chef.
Wasn't bad. Yeah.
Funny, yeah. Not a bad.
Yeah, that was Steve wrote that.
Yeah.
Would you want to see me do it?
No. I had enjoyed watching it in the comfort of my own home, and I thought I would pay you a little compliment there.
That's nice of you.
Thank you very much.
I enjoyed making that movie. Those are two very, very terrific gals.
Guys.
Guys.
Guys, exactly.
So is that a burrito?
And you worked with, now this was a huge event down at the Garden. You and Paul Simon, well, Paul Simon, I guess, and then everybody else, and Paul Schaefer was involved. Yeah. And you came on the stage and you played saxophone with him?
As far as you know, I did, yes. Yeah. Matter of fact, a lot of people believe that I do play saxophone as a result of that.
Well, I know you were a musician. I've heard you play piano.
I have not played much in the last 5 years, but I do play. I will disabuse anybody of the idea that I play reed instruments. I don't play reed instruments. I do, however, play a mean violin.
Violin? Very difficult instrument to play, I would guess.
A mean violin is a
mean violin.
And
what else?
I play the drums once and some other things.
What was the name of the band that you?
I actually did have a band, and you would bring that up.
Oh.
Back in the '60s, when you were just knee-high to
a chair.
God.
I don't know what that means.
That?
I don't know.
Knee-high to it. I was in a group called the Chameleon Church. Now, this is back in the late '60s when everybody was a Nehru jacket group. Maybe I'll get that back up there for the Nehru look. And I played drums, and we were part of what was called the Boston Sound.
Which was?
Which was just bad rock and roll. Really awful. A lot of violins.
Yeah. And you had an album? Did it move at all?
We had an album. I think we sold 23.
Yeah.
23 or 24. The Chameleon Church, and we tried to sound like the Association, and we weren't too bad.
Anybody from that group go on to success in the field of music?
Yes, Arnold Klein did.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with his work.
Well, he was big for a while, I guess. No, none of them did.
And are you going to play? You want to play over there tonight or not? We have to do a commercial.
Well, you want to do a quick?
We'll do a commercial. Pretty impressive. Pretty darned impressive. Now, we didn't really get a chance to hear much of what you were playing.
That's good.
No,
It's called faking it.
I remember one time when we had a show here in the morning, you came on and you actually had an album, and you sat down and you played a whole actual big long number there at the piano. It was very, very entertaining.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Is that right?
You had an album, right?
I think I had a drug problem back then.
No.
I did have an album out, and it was a comedy album, but basically it looked like a music album because of the cover.
Yeah.
So the stores didn't know where to put it, whether to put it in comedy or in music. And And haven't been on TV a lot lately either.
Now, the last time you were here, you were talking about there had been some things written about you in the newspapers. Remember that you actually had the clipping?
Yeah, that's right.
How have you been with that since? Everything okay
I still
there?
read it.
Yeah?
Still read the same item.
Are people still writing on
No,
things
I
about
haven't.
you?
I've heard nothing since I called the National Enquirer liars, I believe, that night. I said, come and sue me.
Yeah.
And I've heard nothing from them.
Yeah, that'll get them.
So I'm sure they're digging far and
But
wide
you know,
to find out.
you look great. You look like you've lost some weight.
I have. I've lost...
yeah, you look quite good.
About 100 pounds. Lost about 30 pounds. A lot of tennis.
100 pounds.
Can you imagine? 100 pounds? My father used to say, get that blanket out of your pants. And that's how I knew it was time to lose some weight. Thank you.
Let's talk about, or maybe you could talk about this because I know nothing about it. When you were doing Gerald Ford on Saturday Night Live, and then you've met him subsequently, haven't you?
Yeah.
Were you ever troubled by the sense that maybe he was upset or had his feelings hurt by what you were doing on the show?
Honestly, I was.
Yeah.
I was upset by that.
Did you find out that he was...
I subsequently met him and spent some time with him on a few occasions and found him to be a delightful, very friendly, nice person.
Mm-hmm.
And I've felt a little guilty over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've also found that he, in spite of being rather a very strong man,
mm-hmm.
and he's got to be somewhere up at Reagan's age, he's got to be about 75.
All right.
And that if you hug him, you can tell he's played football.
Do they let you hug him?
And he does. And that's the gist of it.
Yeah.
But I found that in spite of his being a great athlete, he still does have problems. He does tend to trip over wires and knock mics over. Anything that could conceivably cause a physical disability to surround him. And I think it's really what it is, to be quite honest, is it's very ingenuous and kind of sweet. I think that he's a man who doesn't care for newfangled machinery, things like radios, microphones, cameras, and doesn't know how they work, and I get them out of my way, and that it's, and it just, of course, built on itself. As soon as he first fell down, it built on itself, and he just kept going at it.
It's also possible, I guess, that somebody, after going through most of their life without really ever being self-conscious about doing the slightest little physical activities, suddenly glare
would become,
everything was on him.
For instance, the first time he went like that on the air, after a while, that just became...
No, see, you're making fun of me.
Why do you do that?
Because I'm having a lot of trouble with
teeth problems.
I got phony teeth, and I I phony eye lenses in here, and as a result, periodically, you'll make that face. But I still get a check every week, so screw it.
I get a checkup every week.
Yeah. Well, this is very nice. You had nothing to plug, just as a friend you dropped by to say hello.
Things. I got the Oscars I'll be hosting.
Hosting again this year?
Yeah. Then I have a film coming out in June. Now, of course, I'm just playing with you. I have nothing really to promote. I do have a film in June called Funny Farm, which I think you'll all enjoy. And that's about it. I might be doing a small part in Caddyshack 2.
Caddyshack 2 with the original cast?
No. I would be the only original, and I'd be bilking them for about as much as I can get for that.
Okay, well, good. Anyway, I hope, as they say at this time in a TV talk show interview, you have a great year, and good to see you again.
Good to see you, Dave.
Thanks for coming in. Since we've been on the air here at CBS, we have placed NBC. We have placed, how many calls, Paul, do you think we've made?
Oh, countless calls.
Maybe 60, 70, 100 phone calls since we've been on the air?
100,000 phone calls, at least.
And out of all of those phone calls, how many would you say have been completed successfully? Not many.
Not too many.
No, not many. We have a lot of trouble, and it seems like here lately we just can't really get a call to work properly. Either something's wrong with me, something's wrong with the phone, something's wrong with the person we call. Something always happens. It ruins a lot of good, clean fun for you, the American viewing public. We thought what we would do tonight is get a phone for you that would work sure-fire, and we would also take great caution to make sure that nothing could go. Well, here's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to place a phone call in a minute. We just want to get one solid phone call under our belt. Now, we're going to call my garage here in Midtown Manhattan. There it is, over on 48th Street. There, I think you can see the phone. It should be, there it is. And I'm going to ask them if it's all right if I pick my car up at 6 o'clock. So that's the phone call. Now, let me tell you what we're going to do to make sure nothing can possibly go wrong. sometimes the phone doesn't work, as I mentioned. So to ensure that that doesn't happen here tonight, we have a gentleman who is a qualified telephone technician, John Keaveney. John, can you come out here for us, please? John Keaveney will come out and make sure. Hi, how are you? There's the phone, John. Do you work for NBC, for AT&T? Who do you work for? With NBC. And you know everything there is to know about phones, don't you?
Right.
Okay, this is the man, Paul, that will tell us if the equipment is ready to go.
Ready to go, sir.
Perfect working order.
Ready to go.
Okay, good. Thank you very much, John. And now, sometimes because I'm trying to talk while I dial and I've got several things on my mind, I will dial the wrong number. Now, to prevent that tonight, we have someone who the number for me. This is Joe Fury. He is the man at our reception desk. He handles all of our incoming and outgoing telephone. Hi, Joe. How are you? Would you consider yourself to be an above dialer? And Barbara, we don't want to frighten the person off the phone. Would it be safe to describe you as a soft-spoken person?
Sure.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, the other aspect of this is you must get the permission of the person you're calling to use their voice on the air, and to make sure we live up to that obligation in no uncertain terms is NBC attorney Drew Kastner. He was here tonight. Drew? Nice to see you, Drew. Now, you'll be able to listen to what they say to make sure they've given their okay to use their voice on the air. Is that
That's right. We're all hooked up here.
Okay. Now, the other problem we get when we place phone calls is sometimes there will be nobody home. So to ensure that that has not happened, we've sent staff runner Dave Rogalski over to the parking garage, and he's here now to tell us if, in fact, there is somebody. Hi, Dave. How you doing? Nice job. Dave, is there somebody at the parking garage now?
Yeah, I saw him there.
You saw somebody there,
Yeah.
and you saw the telephone.
Yeah.
So you're under the impression we will get a response.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. And in case of fire or explosion or perhaps releasing of dangerous fumes, we have from the New York City Fire Department, Captain John Serrato. John, are you... Good to see you, John. Thank you very much. All right. Have I covered everything? All right, here we go. We're going to try now. We're going to call my garage, ask them, can I pick up my car at 8? I'll turn the phone over to Joe Fury, our receptionist. He will do the dialing. He'll then hand it to Barbara Sheehan, who will ask to speak with them. Drew Kastner will make sure they've given the necessary approval, and then I'll ask them if I can pick it up at 8 o'clock. Nicely done, Joe.
Thank you.
That seemed to go pretty smoothly. It's ringing. All right. Should be Barbara Sheehan now asking.
Hi, this is Barbara Sheehan calling from the Letterman show. Dave wants to talk. Hello?
Oh, no.
This is Barbara Sheehan from the Letterman show.
Oh, no.
Hello?
Oh, now what?
Hello? This is Barbara Sheehan from the Letterman show. Dave wants to talk to you. Can I put your voice on the air? Okay.
All right, he can't hear us, but what do we care if he can hear us or not? It's okay? Legally, Drew, it's all right?
We're clear.
Thank you very much. Hello? 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 John, let me borrow your axe. Everyone stand back. Everyone. Burial ground. Well, our next guest, see, we're going to have a big celebration when the call was successfully completed. But it was not. It was not successfully completed, no. He couldn't hear us after all of that. I'm sorry. Drop your watch? That's all right.
Yeah, we did check out the phone with a...
Yeah, we had a technician, an expert, who said it was working
He assured us it was working
perfectly.
perfect.
Be careful with that complicated equipment. All right. Did you get an owner's manual with that stuff? Just got away from him, I guess. Our next guest is one of the top jockeys in the United States today. In 1986, she set a record for the most one-year earnings for a woman rider by pulling in more than $2.25 million, and she recently won her 1,000th race. Folks, please say hello to Julie Crone. Julie? Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you very much for being here.
Just happy to see you.
No, I have no burritos in my pocket. Thank you very much, Julie. Now this right here, let me ask you a couple of questions about this because I know very little about thoroughbred racing. You won $2.25 million. Now, do you get a percentage of all of those winnings?
No, just like anything else, when there's a large sum of money, everybody has to get part of it.
Right.
The government gets 10%. Mm-hmm. My agent gets 25%.
25%?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
The valet also receives 10%.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, now, what does he do, the valet?
He brushes the dirt off your boots when you get back from a race, and he tells you, you know, like if you did something good, like he goes, all right, slaps you like a high five and stuff. And if you didn't, it obviously costs him money, so he just goes, oh, well, like that. So.
Now, do you get paid per race, per horse? How do you get paid?
Percentages. Jockeys in the old days used to have to chase the trainers and owners around after they rode their horse, but they made it all paperwork now in the office, and the racetrack actually takes care of it. So we're paid a percentage of the purse. Yeah. You get like 10% of the 60% that the owner receives. Yeah.
It's a very difficult business for a beginning jockey, regardless of sex, isn't it?
Yeah, in the beginning, I think your sex doesn't really have that much of an impact on people because everyone starts at a very young age, like very, very young. And you're just regarded as a young person. You know, it doesn't matter if you're female or male. But most of the time, young jockeys have success, and then it goes away when you lose your apprenticeship.
Because you have an advantage there as an apprentice jockey, don't you?
You know, they might have a sensation and they disappear from the face of the earth.
Yeah, that's happened numerous times. Yeah. How did you get to be a jockey? Was this something you dreamed about as a little girl?
Probably when I got about 13 or 14, I started to actually like dream about it. And
did you live on a farm? Did your family have horses?
Like childhood perfectly for it. I was set up for it my whole life. Horses, and then I came into the racing scene at a fair track, and then Stevie Cawthon had his marvelous year in racing, and it's a very attractive sport. I mean, even if you sit back and like watch a Kentucky Derby or anything that has to do with racing, they always do a very good job, and it's very exciting.
It's very romantic. It's painted or presented to the public as a very romantic sport.
The sport is very attractive, and I was just attracted to it.
Now, as a woman, there have been other successful female jockeys, but not many. It's still a male-dominated profession, isn't it?
The world is like that right now, but it's changing.
Yeah. Now, how tall are you?
4'10" and a half.
4'10" and a half, and what do you weigh?
100 pounds soaking wet.
100 pounds. Now, I'd like to see that. But do you have, is there anything that a 4'10", 100-pound male can do as a jockey that you can't do, or is it pretty much even?
As far as I'm concerned, it's even.
Yeah.
At this point, like once you cross a line, you know, where success is involved and people in racing notice things that you do, I think there's no questions.
They get to respect you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have you ever had any, in fact, I know you've had some confrontations, and there was one that was written about that seemed pretty extreme. Tell the people what we're talking about here.
Okay, well, this certain person is...
a jockey?
Yes, a jockey. We rode the race. I won the race by about 10 lengths. I wasn't even near any of the other horses in the race. He pulls up, and he's cussing at me in Spanish. I think he was cussing. And he was saying really like, crude things, and he rode over on his horse to me, and I was like puffing really hard after I was done riding, and go to put my goggles up, and he just smashes me across the face with his whip.
Oh, now that's illegal, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it it was planned and I was expecting it. And no, it's definitely illegal. And it's very, it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go back, and I'm starting to think to myself, that guy just like hit me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I start like shaking, and I can't control myself, and I feel something on my neck, and I reach like this. You know how the cowboys in the movie, they touch their lip and it's blood, you know,
Yeah.
they go like, and I did that. And I just took a punch at him, and
I'm sorry? You took a punch at this guy.
and that was a good one.
Did you drop him?
I don't know, I was so nervous and so hyped up, I didn't remember. All I remember then is we have an older fellow that's a clerk of scales, and he was grabbing me, and he was like, Julie, Julie.
Yeah.
But I couldn't snap out of it, I just wanted to.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen very often, and I was severely reprimanded by the officials because I'm someone in racing that people look up to.
Right.
And,
So
you
to
know,
speak.
Yeah, that's, you know, the sport.
Let's, yeah, we gotta, hang on, Julie, we gotta do a commercial. Here's something I've always wanted to know, and maybe there is no definitive answer here. You're riding, you're 100 pounds, you're riding thoroughbred horses, 1,100 pounds, 1,200 pounds, do they get that heavy?
Some of them, they don't run quite as fast when they get that.
But we're talking about an animal that's a half of a ton, essentially. When you ride a horse that wins, afterwards, do you get any sense that he or she is behaving differently than a horse that has not won? Do they know any difference?
Some of them do, definitely.
Really? Now, and how does that manifest itself?
Some horses have, like, the most exotic personalities. Like, you know, you're different from other people. You're very talented. A lot of horses are like that. Like, they really, they look beyond things all the time, and they always have, like, a really look of, like, eagles to them all the time. And it's, like you said, it's very romantic and neat. And most of the time, it's horses that have a lot of talent.
So you can tell a little difference. I mean, you get the sense that they
have a look
sense
to 'em
something.
or a sense, definitely.
Do you ever see them, like, in the paddock bar celebrating with a couple of beers?
No.
Do you get the feeling that they enjoy not only the running, but the competition?
It's the same thing as people. Like, you like what you do, but you put someone else up here, and he might despise it. You know, or there's some horses, they come into the paddock, and they're like wringing wet from head to toe, and you're like, obviously the horse cannot be enjoying this right now. But they run and they win, you know, so they all have different styles.
Different personalities.
Exactly.
Do you get attached to animals? Do you get
very
fond of
much.
them?
Yeah, very much.
And you probably get your heart broken sometimes too, don't you?
No, because after a while it goes away. You learn how to be attached and then just block it out after it happens.
Yeah, but if a horse is retired or if he's injured, that must be difficult to take. Yeah. Congratulations on all your success.
Thank you very
And this is going to be a huge year for you, isn't it?
I hope
Yeah, I
so.
hope so too. Come back and see us. You're going to be where you?
In New York.